This is Pete Thomas from NBC's The Biggest Loser. Listen, I want to give you guys an update on season number 7, week number 7. Right off the bat, there's a pop challenge. Allison comes out and says, you know, you guys, you've got to run up this hill, or get up there as fast as you possibly can. Get up to the top of this hill, take keys off of this board and take them back down to the gym door. There's a padlock on that door. And whoever keys open that door, you have access to the gym. There are going to be only 2 teams this week that have access to the gym. So this is a very important challenge right off the bat. I like the way that NBC is throwing these challenges out there, getting away from some of the goofy, oh, let's guess how many calories are in a brownie. We're getting away from some of those things, and we're actually having challenges that burn a few calories along the way. This is going to be a good workout for some folks. And here we see the dynamics on the teams, even between the teams. Ron is of course, he's struggling with his knees, and everyone has an interest in helping him. Reminds me of my season when we had a concern about Dr. Jeff and the ligaments that were missing from his ankles from over the years. And so you just see that camaraderie. It's just great, great, great. In the end, the brown team, Ron and Mike, they get access to the gym. And the pink team, Helen and Shannon, they get access. 2 Michigan teams. They have access to the gym. No one else can go to the gym. Everyone else has to work out outdoors. And we see how that goes. We see the different approaches to working outdoors. We see Bob takes his team and has them doing step-ups on the bench and doing bench presses with bench furniture. We see Jillian going old school, 80s style aerobics. All of that stuff works. You do not have to have a gym. This is obviously what NBC was trying to show you. You don't have to have a gym, although there is such a great benefit to having one. Then we see some other things. We see that Bob is upset that Blaine was voted off and that Dane is still there because Dane is a bigger threat. He's really hot about it, although he does get some of his perk back. He perks back up once he finds out that his teams are inside the gym. And so we go on to the next step, which was a rowing challenge. And see, this was a pretty good challenge. You know this is going to be quick because they have to keep the speed of the rowing machine up to a relatively high level. And Dane wins the rowing challenge. So he gets immunity. We should see him for at least 2 weeks. But the question that NBC didn't answer was, why wasn't Dane back in the key challenge? I have no idea. We'll have to see if we can't find out about that. And then we go to the last chance workout. Of course, since the contestants can't work out at the gym, they choose to either work out at the beach. I remember when I worked out at the beach my season, the beach is a horrible, horrible place to work out. You know, personally, I think that God designed the beach for relaxation. So anytime you take something and you abuse it, you get pain. And that's what I remember from the running around in the sand, and you see the contestants carrying big logs overhead. It had to be a very, very painful experience. Jillian works her team out in the courtyard outside of the house, but that beach workout, I'm sorry, it just brings back emotionally painful memories. Whew. Okay, then we go straight to the final weigh-in. And at the weigh-in, you know what we want to know? And it's bad news. The pink team from Michigan falls below the yellow line. Helen and Shannon, they've fallen below the yellow line. Shannon has an off week, and she's disappointed because they did have access to the gym. So you see that that's not always a benefit. At the end of the day, it is about putting in that extra work, that hard work. And then Shannon goes on to tell the rest of the teams that she's willing to go home. She's willing to go home. And behind the scenes, I understand that her mom was really the one that pushed them to try out for the show. And Shannon, she says, I'm willing to go home to let my mom stay here. They stay here. And we see that difference between her and her mom. And then we see it between Mike and Ron. You know, we see those little parental differences there, different goals and all of that. So it's really interesting to take a look at. And sure enough, she seems to have some second doubts or some second thoughts about that. You know, but the other teams, they abide by her wishes and send her home. And we see that she's doing great at home. She's lost over 85 pounds. And those of us who are in Michigan, who follow the news, know that she's been in the news more than just for the show. So it's going to be a great week next week. Check it out next week. Next week, it's going to get kind of rough. The thing that you do not want to lose on the ranch, besides your place on the ranch, is your trainer. And really, you've got to tune in next week. Also, of course, casting is coming to town. So if you're going to the casting in Chicago, or you're going to the casting here in Michigan, by the way, 9 people have been cast the last 2 seasons of the show from the casting call in Michigan. I've been at Both of those all day. I'm going to be there with you, and we've got tips up on the website at winningman.com. Don't be a dum-dum. Get some tips before you go to the casting call. Thanks for watching Grand Rapids Press. Thanks for checking out the blog here at goinggonzo.com. And we just appreciate you guys for taking a look, and check us out next week.